involved, and certainly when children have been impacted, they have gone in and dealt with dispensaries who have crossed that line. So they have taken action. They've been deliberate where they felt it appropriate. It's not City Council's jurisdiction to tell the police where to enforce the law and how to operate. That is a decision made by the police chief and members of the Vancouver Police.
But it's still an illegal business at the end of the day, even though people have a license. So aren't they at risk?
Well, there's obviously people make their choices about taking risk in their businesses. For City Council, our choice was, do we leave this as a free-for-all and let these dispensaries continue to proliferate around the city, close to schools and wherever they felt like setting up, or do we step in and regulate and put a common sense approach in place to manage the location of these dispensaries? And the Supreme Court has obviously backed up the access question on medical marijuana. People do have a right to the access. We're dealing with the location piece, which is our jurisdiction. We need the federal government to take action on the broader piece of drug policy reform and making sure we have an appropriate approach to marijuana in this country.
Time for 2 more questions.
About enforcement. Just wanted to be clear on this because I think you have 2 meanings here to enforcement. Enforcement through a business license, you're going to court. Enforcement if the business needs to be shut down because the cops are concerned about drug dealing or something. Is that correct?
Correct.
You can explain what you mean by enforcement.
Well, enforcement, again, as the mayor pointed out, the police chief will make it on terms of the criminality and then, they're selling to kids or organized crime, that's one aspect. But in regards to the bylaws just passed, we will enforce those bylaws. If they are operating within 300 meters of a school and don't have a proper license, they will be closed. There are a number of ways you can do it. You can, we've always had a number of ways to be in our city, everything from business license fines, for example, all the way through to injunctions and court hearings. So I mean, it's up to our staff to decide what's the best remedy at the time, just as we do any other business. And I think that's what's key here, is that we are treating these shops, and they have the same rules and regulations pretty much as any other shop in our city. We're putting structure where no structure exists. And I think that's the best public health approach you can take, whether it's the downtown east side or whether it's an organic fruit business. I mean, you gotta put structure in place that didn't exist before.
Emily has one and then we have to go.
So the city has refused to budge on its ban on edibles. What incentive do these businesses have to stop selling edible products that they've been selling in some cases for 15 years?
But once again, that'll be up to our staff. If they are found with that, for example, there could be fines, there could be injunctions, warnings, or whatever the case may be. We leave that to our staff. They're very professional and very skilled at this. We have a number of shops in our town that sell all sorts of things that they probably shouldn't be, and our staff are in there all the time, checking in and issuing fines. We have business license hearings that I sit on, looking at what some businesses do. So it's no different. Again, it's providing structure where there has been no structure before.
Okay, the Supreme Court enshrined people's right to cookies, and you guys are denying people's right to baked
Just a final note on edibles. I think staff have concurred, and the amendments today that came forward include having oils, tinctures, and capsules available in sealable containers. So I think there's a common sense approach again to deal with edibles, so that people who need access to medical marijuana can get that in an edible form, but they are not available in forms that will be appealing to children. Candies, baked goods, sweets that will be available for. And again, it's not the city's role to regulate what products are sold specifically in the form of edibles. Our guidelines are very clear, and we've taken action to abide by the decision of the Supreme Court on the edible issue.
I think